let's begin. So today we will take Kayagatāsati Sutta. This is in Majjhima Nikaya 119, and then we'll go to 118 and like that. So we will combine many of the suttas, including DN 22, which is Satipatthana Sutta. The objective here is to understand what to practice and how to practice it, so that whatever we have learned through Goenka technique can be enhanced. It's not a replacement, but it is enhancing whatever we have known so far. So, one confusion that might come is that is it the same, is it different, or something like that? In Goenka technique, majorly it is all about the sensations, which is something we can see that everything is sensation oriented. Whereas in the Buddha teachings or in the Kayagatāsati, sensation is already understood. So it starts with feelings more than sensations. Anyway, whichever way it goes, so let's see how to implement it and how to enhance our knowledge from wherever we have done, whatever we have done. And we take it further, including the just concluded retreat, what we had. So we are using TMI approach. So whether we are using TMI or Goenka, we can enhance from there. It's not a literally removing something and adding on top, adding or starting afresh. That's not like that. It is on top of whatever we have known. I'm just trying to give a clarity before we begin, so there is no confusion. Now, what is that we need to do in relation to breath? The first thing is that breath is a primary object of meditation, and that is a key aspect for getting calmness and stopping the mind from going behind the senses. So that is a reason it is very imperative, very much important that we focus attention, observation, everything with relation to the breath, so that there is awareness. So let me tell you what it is. Let's say I'm watching the nostril area. When I say I'm watching, watch is just as an observer. You watch this portion, then you know the breath is going in, coming out. That remains same irrespective whether we take TMI, we take Goenka, we take Buddha, it remains the same. There's no difference, or that even Sariputta says go by that. No difference. Okay. First thing says that you need to focus, learn to focus, learn to focus. That's all. Focus means bring somewhere here. That means consciously, meaning the consciousness goes out everywhere. You consciously bring the focus towards the nose. So the focus is brought, the attention also comes along with that. Because focus and attention comes together. And in Pali, we were to use its manasikara, attention. That is part of decision making of the consciousness. So you decide to drop off other things in favor of watching the nose area. But then it has to become interesting. If it is boring, then the mind, that means the consciousness, which is holding this object, will drop the object for some other better object. It can be a sound, it can be sleep also, because there's nothing to be done. Got the point? So the manasikara, what Buddha says is manasikara sambhava sabbedam. It is through the mental through making up your mind, anything can be made possible. So, if I want to have this focus and attention, there should be something over there to focus so that attention is retained there. Okay. Now, what Buddha says is that you start kayanupassana or do the kayagata. Understand what is kaya. Kaya is a collection. So understand what it is collection of, what it is collected of, what it consists of, and how it consists of. This is an interesting thing, meaning for the consciousness, if the manasikara, the mind has to stick there, stay there, something should be interesting. When it is interesting, it keeps on observing that. That means the third one, which is sati, which has observation as one of the key element in that, followed by awareness, which is sati. So to increase the sati, I need to have manasikara. So manasikara and sati has to be balanced. That is, attention and awareness has to be balanced. If you are too much attentive, the awareness goes away. If you're too much aware, then attention goes away. So you have to balance both. That means we need to have manasikara to a good extent and also sati to a good extent. So there is a continuity throughout day, not just in a sitting or 1 hour meditation. I'm checking 1 hour, I put the time, and then I'm just worried about or just thinking when this 1 hour is going to happen. Why this happens is because I'm not interested. I'm forcing. When I say I am, it is the consciousness which is forcing itself to watch something which is not an interest of anything, doesn't provide anything. So the most interesting are the senses, not this. So the main thing of consciousness is to go behind the sense objects because it is used to do that. So when there is sensual excitement, the energy dips so that there's nothing in the senses right now. So then it turns itself into sleep. So we have a sleepy state of mind. That is midha. Okay. If I don't want this, then something interesting has to be brought into it, which is far more interesting than sensual. That is far more interesting than sight, far more interesting than sound and taste and touch and smell. If something is more interesting than this, then the mind for that moment lets go of its hold on the sensual and comes to this. Okay, that means there should be preparation. Just can't get into the act without preparing. Just like if you have to go to the office, you have to get into the act. That means you have to take bath, you have to get ready, you have to have breakfast and dress suitably for the office. And then you head to the office because in the mind, the consciousness has taken office. So it drops off other things for office. So you are now going to the office. So there is a mental clarity that is you are going to the office. You're not going to picnic. You're not going on holiday. So the competing mental objects of holiday or picnic or something is not coming into existence. Office is taken the priority, the other things are dropped off, including the family. So when I'm working in the office, I don't remember my family at all, unless my wife calls. Otherwise, there is no disturbance. So I'm just, my focus, attention, manasikara is on office objects. The awareness is also on office. So for that 8 hours or 10 hours, I am working for the office, for the organization. So there's no way I can now do something else in its place. So when the office work is done, let's say it's evening 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whatever time I'm supposed to be leaving, then the office experience dips and my driving experience takes over. So when I sit in the car, no longer I am in the office, my manasikara is in the car and the awareness is of the car. So I need to basically be attention to the road while I'm aware of other things which are happening. Right? So both are going together. So, like in the same way, there's no difference between what we are doing in the office or car or home or whatever it is. The same way we have to do this. If we create a separation, it doesn't work because there's nothing to be done. What do you expect mind to do? You're saying observe the breath and do what? What it should do with observing the breath? I don't know. So there is sleepiness. So I am watching for that 1 hour to complete. So when 1 hour completes, I take a 5 minute break, again do 1 hour, and then again 5 minute break, another 1 hour, like that. So I do a 10-day retreat, come back, looks good, because the mind is now cut off from other things. No office work, no calling home, no mobile phones, no talking. All these are artificial flavors, just to give us a sense that you are master of your mind. But when we come back to the world, everything is back normal. So, how do we break this cycle? That's what we are going to do now. So, basically, the breath has following tones which can be considered as sensations. I'm using the word sensation because people are used to the word sensation. And since all of us are from Goenkaji tradition, in one way or the other, so we understand sensation more than anything else. I'll use this, but that's not a word to be used. But since we are used to that word sensation or samvedana, so then it's good to use that. Then taking the another coinage from the Buddha Dhamma. So basically, there is a kayika. In Kayagatāsati, there is kayika. Kayika means bodily. Body means collection. Even in English, meaning of body is collection. You are now observing what is collection. So there is a physical collection, there is a mental collection. These are the two closely knit connections. They're collections. In the emotions, feelings, etc. are mental based. The bodily transactions are physical based. So we can now see there are physical and mental. Then there are energetic movements, like something moving in the spine area and some tremor, some bubbling sensation, some so and so energy moving here, there, can have different kinds. So we call it as an energetic movements. It's also apart from the body. Then there is jhanic. They're the four classical things you can watch, you can look out for. Okay, the four easily recognizable thing. For whom? For the consciousness. So now we have an interesting thing to do. That is, we first look at this collection of the body. We look at the collection of the mind. We then look at the collection of energies. Then we look at the collections of jhanic factors, which means you are in rupa jhana, meaning leaving this gross material form, you go into a subtle material form before entering into non form related or formless accomplishment. So there is sensual, there is form, and there is formless. So the interesting thing for the mind, that is manasikara, is attempting to remove the sensual because it already knows what is sensual. It has drawbacks of sensual. So attaining something which is non-sensual, which is called niramisa, meaning unadulterated by sensual excitement, which is two parts. One is the rupa and one is arupa, which are far better than the sensual. So through Kayagatāsati, followed by anapanasati, one can get liberation from the suffering of any existences. That is, you leave the sensual existence, so you get into rupa existence. Then you let go of the rupa existence, you get into the arupa existence. Then you let go of the arupa existence, then there is no existence. That means the mind is completely, or mind here means consciousness, is completely eradicated of holding on to anything. Okay, so it comes out of existence. This is the most interesting part. If a question comes, why are you watching breath? Is to understand the body, physical, second, mental, third is energetic patterns, fourth one, jhanic. These are four reasons why we are doing what we are doing. Any questions? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to body, now I'm watching the breath, or I want to watch the breath. Let's start with that. I will put I want to watch the breath. The reason is why I would like to watch the breath. I should know the reason, otherwise, what's the point in doing it? So, the first reason is to really know that there is a temperature variation between the outside and inside. It's a very physical knowing. Outside air is cold, inside air is warm. So, there is a difference in coolness and warmth. And where it is felt on the nostrils or on the upper lip. You can feel it like burning sensation. I'm using this word sensation because there is something to sense. Okay, so the mind or the consciousness can sense a change in temperature. So when I watch the in breath and out breath, in breath, out breath, if I am watching the sensation of this temperature, the mind will stick there because there is some interest, something to validate or myself. So the doubt goes away. So the first hindrance is doubt. Why am I watching the breath? And the doubt starts to go away. Okay. Then the second one is movement. Something is moving, like brushing, like touching. Something is touching. So the body also is getting touched with air, and this nose area is also getting touched with air. The t-shirt or the shirt or whatever dress I'm wearing, it slightly goes up and comes down. Stomach is going up and coming down. Right? This much can be seen physically. That's a movement. Then there is pressure. Goes up, comes down. Not only in me, every living being, every breathing object undergoes the same thing. No difference. Okay, so that's a third one. So what did I do? I looked at the temperature, movement, and pressure. Then there is some stretching. Near the pelvic region, there's stretching. The place where I'm sitting, there's stretching. Near the abdomen area, there's stretching. If I look at the back, there is stretching. Even though I'm sitting to the chair, there's stretching. Not expansion, contraction. Something stretching. It stretches. The skin is stretching. I can see that. There is some stretching going on. There's tingling. Something tingling sensation across the body. Wherever the breath goes, there is a tingling sensation. Whenever the air strikes the skin, there is a tingling sensation. If the skin is dry and the air is hitting there, there's a tingling sensation. And not only there is a tingling sensation, there is subtle vibrations. A blade hit like this and this vibration. As my attention span increases, awareness of these things also increases. So I can see like blade being hit, that how the vibration is happening. I can see vibration near my nose area, vibration near throat, vibration near chest, vibration near abdomen, and vibration in the back, spinal column. There is some vibration. I really don't know what that vibration is. I don't have to know what that vibration is, but there is vibration. Okay. And then there is flowing of air, and there is pulsation, heartbeats. Even in the nose area here, you can feel the heartbeat like that. And if you keep on observing the whole body from top of the head, the tip of the toe, you can feel that pulsation. And the flowing, you see this fun. You'll see the flowing of the blood, how it is flowing. As the breath moves, there's a flow of the blood. Dr. Madhukar will agree with me that blood is flowing. Otherwise, the person is dead. There is flow. There is blood pressure. If there is pressure, then the blood also should be moving with that. So the expansion and contraction creates, so the blood vessels expand, letting the blood out, contract, expand, contract, expand, contract. So the whole body is like that. That makes it interesting. In fact, you don't want to leave a 5-minute break for that, because now it is interesting of watching the breath. Then finally, the contact point. Wherever the breath is contacting, there would be sensations, physical. These are the maximum physical sensations you can expect between the in breath staying coming out. So As you take in breath, expands, and the body comes back. Then it expands, then it comes back. That's what is happening. In between, you'll have heartbeats. You can watch the heartbeat or the breath, meaning as the breath goes up, comes down, after a while, you can move from watching the breath to heartbeat because that is more, not only subtler, it's more interesting because that goes across the body. So you don't have to watch the breath. So if somebody wants to have a kaya sensation, a samvedana, can just keep on watching the pulsation. Tick, 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 tick. And that sound, if you were to hear, is far more subtler than the outside sound. The outside sound can be cut completely. And then you are with this in-depth sound. And you can spend hours together. Let's say I want to do a retreat from morning till evening. Doesn't matter where I sit, because these sensations are going to be the same, irrespective where I sit. Clear? I don't have to go anywhere. If I'm on a flight, let's say I'm now going to Nagpur, takes 1.5 hours. Where from the time I sit here to the sitting in the car, going to the airport, to checking in, and then sitting for the flight, to the flight, to getting off the flight, and then sitting in the vehicle, going to Yavatmal. I can use it. Why I can't? Why I should wait for a retreat to be done there to do this thing? It's there, it's available. It can be done anywhere. This is the first thing. It's on kaya, physical, pure physical movements. It's got nothing to do with mind, mental. We're only talking physical. So the consciousness is observing the physical changes completely. So just to conclude on what we have covered so far, we've covered on temperature, covered on movement, covered on pressure, the stretching of the body, some tingling, some blood flow, air flow, pressure, sensations, pulsations, and how the breath is touching the nostril area. Clear? These are the things what can be experienced by anyone at any point in time. So if you bring in this way of seeing the breath, you would love to do it than just sitting and going into sleep, because there's nothing to be done. Now we come to the mental part of it. You will see this pleasant feeling. I'm using the word feeling instead of sensation, because pleasantness of anything of the mind cannot have sensations. It's not gross, it's subtle. You can't explain to anyone what is pleasant. You can only say, I'm feeling pleasant. You see, we use the word feeling there. I'm feeling pleasant. I don't say, I have a sensation of pleasant. I'm feeling pleasant. And that person understands, oh, he is feeling pleasant. Clear. So nobody can explain what is pleasantness because mental. Another thing, what is pleasant for one, the degree of pleasantness might be different for different individual. We can't say the same category of pleasantness is being found. No. But we can just put a label that pleasant. But if somebody asks how pleasant is pleasant, it becomes unpleasant to explain. So we leave it there. Then there is unpleasant feeling. What is unpleasant feeling is that in the pleasant feeling there was lightness. The body became very light and the breath became very calming, very soothing, very free flow. So you are able to see the breath going across the body. So you feel, wow, there's a feel wow factor. Whereas in the unpleasantness, it's tighter and the breath is very non rhythmic. And sometimes you're able to find the breath, sometimes you're not able to find the breath, you're getting restless. That gives you an unpleasant. So then you feel like forcing the breath. That's a decision you're taking to force the breath. So take some deep breath and then try to force it. This unpleasant, these are mental feelings. I'm not using the word sensation. Then there is neutral. Neutral in the sense that it becomes natural. You are not forcing to see, you are not doing anything in particular, and it becomes effortless. If these three things have taken place and there is a subsiding of it, then the joy arises. Because there is mental pliancy, means becomes pretty easy. And you start to feel this the thing had to do it for a long time. I don't know why I was not doing. But you shouldn't allow these thoughts to enter into the mind because they become kukkucha, like remorse feeling, cut it off, or restlessness to arrive. Because these are not friends, they're enemies. So, restlessness. Don't get restless. Again, get back to the kaya. Because you're mentally not too sharp to discern. So, go back to kaya. Temperature, pressure, this, that. Keep on making it more interesting and then come to the mental. Then you get light sense of comfort. Then suddenly the mental quietude will start. Avitaka avichara. That is, there is no vitaka vichara. There are no thoughts interfering. Only breath remains. Only the mental exuberance, mental calmness remains. So you feel nothing. You don't feel I have to sit for a long time. You don't feel like not sitting for a long time. Just want to be. Just leave me alone. I don't want to be disturbed. Okay. So that state is when you have quite very quiet and there is a calm background awareness of air touching, some sounds coming, other than the heart sounds, pulsation, which you can focus upon attention, or you can go on outside. So both you are able to do it, which makes it even more beautiful because you are able to have an internal awareness and external awareness also. So now we have entered into the mind as a mental state to see what is happening inside the mind as calmness takes over. That brings in alertness. Earlier, it was sleepy state. Now we are very alert. You're awake, but sleeping to the world. If somebody sees you, you are disinterested, but you have heard everything. You know everything, whatever is happening, but you're not really interested in indulging in it because there's nothing to be indulged, just to be seen. Okay, this is the mental feeling. Then, if wrongly done, meaning if couldn't do well, dullness, subtle dullness, and first it starts with subtle dullness, then goes to the gross dullness. So sometimes subtle dullness takes over. You don't feel energized, dull. See, this is the mental state. So what did we understand? Through breath watching, we looked at the kaya, bodily, physical, and then we looked at mental. Okay. Then we come to the third one, energetic energy movements in the body. They are not physical, they are not mental either. There's nothing called as a physical energy movement. Meaning, if you cut across the body, you will not find anything called as a physical energy movement. Okay. So, various traditions put it in a way called nadi, tubular channels. Then there is chakra. So they put in different ways, but there is an experience of energetic movement, and that can only happen when your mind is stable. So what you would get, you get the whole body feels so light, and waves and waves and waves of something moving start. So you get a subtle flow of current in the body, just like electric shocks or rapid pulses everywhere, bubbling effects or bursting of bubbles kind of an effect, or some heat movement from the spine from one place to another place. Or you will feel body is expanding and expanding and expanding while you close your eyes. Or you will feel somebody is touching you. Or you would feel goosebumps happening. Suddenly you feel chilled. Suddenly you feel hot. All these are not bodily sensations. They are neither mental feelings, but they are energetic movements. And when this energetic movement happens, there is an experience in consciousness of that. And you can name whatever you want because that is the perception of consciousness. So consciousness can perceive and say that I felt like this. So we'll put one label to that. Minusing the label, there is some energy movement. So my objective, your objective, or anybody's objective is to just watch these and let them go. They come, they go, they come, they go. And if you keep on leaving them, you get more and more. So it's not fair to get something, get excited and stop them. Shouldn't get excited. Excitement is again going to create restlessness. So just observe, let it go. Then waves and waves of energy will start. And like on the going kaji technique, a stage will come when it becomes free flow. That's an energy movement. Goenkaji calls it as dhara pravaha. Dhara means watery, like like a free flow of water from one place to another. Pravaha means floods, actually. So it seems like something is flowing, but that is pure energy moment. No part of the body will be spared. And after that, you get a state called as dissolution, which is bhanga. It gets dissolved. That's the end of energy cycle. Then it becomes vibrations. Then the body is completely gone. Now, when this happens, the parasympathetic nervous system takes over and it makes you numb of the whole body itself. So you start to feel like a dead body. So the body, if you were to touch, will become cold. Ashwin had this recently that makes a very cold, dead like body experience. Okay. Why that happens? When you're doing a lot of body scanning, the energy starts, so when it takes over, the sympathetic nervous system job is to keep it running. The parasympathetic nervous system job is to make it in rest and digest. The parasympathetic nervous system job. So when it is so much relaxed, the brain signals will make sure that only minimum utilization of energy is made and absorption of energy is more. You feel cold. So when you come back, you touch any object, you feel literal cold. And you touch here also, it is cold. Here, everywhere you feel cold. It seems like you're touching a dead body. It would take few hours for it to come back to warmth. You cannot feel warmth. Madhukarji, am I right in explaining? Okay.
Correct.
Yes, Ashwin.
Yeah, if I stuck touch to stone, my bone get like completely frozen.
Yes.
Complete body cut cold.
Yes. So there's nothing to fear, nothing to get scared, nothing that it's not a nibbana or anything like that. It is just that the energies have taken over, which then makes the parasympathetic nervous system to act rather than the sympathetic nervous system. You will have a literal coldness across the body, including the chest region. You'll feel cold. You touch anywhere, you touch anything outside object, you feel cold. There is no sensation of heat. I'm using the word sensation rather than feeling because bodily sensation is hot or cold. So you will feel, which is a mental feeling of the physical touch as cold. Not just cold as in cold, as a dead body cold, as though lifeless. In few hours time, that is, some people it might take 1 or 2 hours, some people 5-6 hours, some people a day to come back.
For me, it was 2-3 days.
Yeah. It would be like that. So nothing to get scared that why it is like this. That's a natural state of sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system. It's majorly a nerves way of dealing with changes. Okay. So while I was in Australia or Brisbane, though, Ashwin had called me saying that he had gone for a retreat of Goenkaji, and he was driving from that place to, I think from Kolhapur you were driving, or you came to Kolhapur.
I called you from while I'm going from Kolhapur to Chennai. Like,
Yeah. So he had this. So he called from the hotel and he's feeling like this. What should be done? I said, nothing. Relax. You'll be all right. That's expected. And again, I asked Shaniel as well to find out whether he had this experience. He said, yes, I had this many times of getting completely frozen. So anyway, it's good that he had this experience. But if any one of you get this experience, nothing to get alarmed. It's fine. So this is the third one. And the fourth one is the deep stages of piti, pasiddhi, sukha, and equanimity, upekha. This is jhana. So the reason why you're doing breath watching is to be in jhana. Got the point? The first four jhanas. And from that vantage point, you are ready for vipassana.
So just one question.
Yes.
So, so whatever the third style you told us just now about this energy movement and the experience which Ashwin sir shared, that doesn't classify into the state of entering into jhana?
No. No. Beyond this comes jhana. First, all of this will come. Then you will see a shift happening from sensual to non sensual. You can't force it, it's a process by itself. So there is a seamless movement from the sixth sense viewpoint of grossness, the sixth sense viewpoint of the subtleness. Then the mind, meaning consciousness, takes that as an object and drops this entire thing off. So then there is vibrations in the body which will stop, followed with no mental thought patterns at all. So you get only related to this mental progression, energetic movement culminating into the first jhana. Okay, and that stays for the whole day. You feel floating in air, and breath watching becomes effortless. You don't have to remind yourself, I have to watch the breath. Always there. And the clarity, what you get, your sleep cycle reduces, your hunger reduces, you don't feel charged up with any sensual thing. If somebody were to show some YouTube videos, something, or even some entertainment things, you'll say, not worth it, including your family. You withdraw completely. That's the reason Buddha says, Vivicheva kamehi, vivicheva kusala dhammehi. Five hindrances are gone. The sensation, body, interest towards eyes, nose, tongue, body, mind, gone. You feel relaxed. then you're in jhana. And then it keeps on automatically going to the second jhana, then third and fourth. At which point you know you're equanimous. So these are the 4 stages in breath watching. I couldn't cover this while I was there in Brisbane because we wanted people to get somewhere. They were doing well. Now it's time to bring this up, to develop mind further. This is the introduction of to Kayagatāsati. So the first few lines, Buddha talks about that Pasambayam Kaya Sankharan Asasi Sameti Sikkati Pasambayam Kaya Sankharan Pasasi Sameti Sikkati. Then he goes to the area Pabbai directly. He doesn't take the other things because that's not required. Now you're ready to move into the next one. But tomorrow when we meet up, we can digest this further information by a little bit of practice and see that how it really works. And then incorporate the other portions. And get into Vipassana. And what is Vipassana? Vipassana is to see things as they really are, not as they are presented. That's Vipassana. And what is Anupassana? Is about not only seeing things as they are and not as they presented, but knowing the thing itself, what it consists of, what it is made up of. Seeing that there is nothing in that is Anupassana. Even in the jhanic, there is nothing out there. That's Anupassana. Vipassana is to know there is something jhanic better than this. Vipassana. So Buddha made it into 5 stages, 5 steps basically. The first step is sila. The second step is samatha, which we just now discussed. The third step is jhana. The fourth step is vipassana. The fifth step is shunyagara. So now that we have sila already done, we are now looking at the samadhi portion, which includes both the samatha and jhana. That helps in vipassana. And that vipassana then helps in having shunyagara. Not the shunyagara of sitting in an empty cell, making mind empty of content. The consciousness has no content, it's free flowing, which is Nirodha Samapatti on the jhanic side of it, or Nibbana, which is the ultimate peace. Fine. Any questions before we close? Think so. We'll close it to 1 hour better so that we get good amount of time to reflect and practice. So you understood therefore. So now it should be interesting to watch the breath. Yes, Ari, you have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
One quick question. Does everyone who get into jhana experience this chilling effect before it happens?
What's that?
Does everyone who go into jhana experience this ice state before it happens?
Most of them. If you go in these steps, you will. Now my leg is totally cold. While I'm talking to you, I'm not feeling pretty cold in the leg. Now if I touch my leg with this my hand, it's turned out to be cold.
So does that mean for as many number of times you go into jhana,
No, prior to jhana. Prior to jhana. When there is energy movements, like when I'm talking, there's energy movement, and that energy movement makes the parasympathetic nervous system to take over. So it cuts off many things that are unrelated. So your Vedana feeling you'll have like ice cold.
So I guess once someone become proficient with jhana, let's say today they're entering into jhana, and then again they will become ice, and then they'll.
No, I think you misunderstood. I'm not talking about jhana at all. I'm saying before the jhana, you are coming to jhana. I didn't say jhana.
Yeah. So every day before you go into jhana, do you become icy?
You will feel that chilling effect. If you get bhanga, I told bhanga also, you get bhanga, dissolution, instantaneously you will start to experience coldness.
Thanks.
Sure. Yes, yeah. Bye-bye, Ashwin. Yes, Madhulika, you had raised hand.
Sir, I just wanted to say, with relation to the question which Cherry asked, right? I mean, they are, because whatever the states that you are talking about, right, like the third stage before entering to the jhana, right, where we experience the numbness. But if somebody just try to do the light jhana, like there are different stages of jhana also which is being classified.
Yes.
So like Leigh Brestone has and Thanisiri Bhikkhu has also defined that light jhana state. So in that, you need not have to necessarily experience that numbness, right, before entering into it.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to clarify.
Yes,
Thank you.
You don't have to. But if you follow this step, it'll take you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree. So then, sir, this jhana which we are referring here, then definitely it's not the light jhana.
No.
Right?
No. We are getting completely into jhana, as what Buddha explains. So this process, what we are doing is not a sitting only posture or 1 hour sitting meditation. This one, what we are talking about is continuous.
Okay.
Like I said, office stuff and like that, right? So you're continuously being on that. Just like in office, you will be continuously on office things. The same way you're continuously on this.
Just last question to that. So then this is an intermediate jhana, right? Not the.
Let's stop it today. Tomorrow we'll talk about jhana. But first, let's understand why we should watch the breath. What's the interesting portion about it is these 4 things. Hence, there is an interesting portion to it. If we don't have that, the mind will go to sleep. The attention breaks. So there's no awareness, basically. So you can't be aware of what's happening in the body because we are aware of what is happening outside. We are so used to outside awareness. There's nothing, no time left for inside awareness. So the attention always goes out rather than going inside. So now what we are doing is we are making sure that there is an interest in looking inside as well. All these days when we were sitting in sitting meditation, it's a forced one. You're just forcing yourself to sit there. So out of 1 hour, you might sit peacefully for 20-25 minutes, and after that, you're just trying to see when the time gets over, when the time gets over, when the time gets over. So there's an restlessness, and there's a doubt, then there is irritation. Everything is there because I don't want to sit. I'm forcing myself to sit. But if somebody has an interest, there's nothing called as sitting there. To watch what is happening in the breath, did you take a time? Now we are going out, so can I not see it? Yeah, I can. As I sit in the auto here, there's nothing to be done. Just keep watching and looking at the pulsation, this, that, all that I discussed just now. Then enter into jhana. By the time we reach, it's fine. Then we're coming back, then sitting here, then doing something. Beyond that, beyond that, beyond that, so that the mind doesn't latch on to any sensual thing. Otherwise, it goes by sensual. Yes, Seryu.
I guess in this process, which is described, this Banga state would be preceding how you enter into jhana. But entering to jhana does not necessarily require this Banga.
No. I'm talking because from my Australian experience, people are so used to bhanga, dissolution, and they understand free flow, but they don't know what it really means. It means energy movements. I just want to give clarity so that we don't feel, it is something different. Or same thing. Okay, should we end? So try it out. Tomorrow we practice together. Even I need to go. Bye bye.